Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 25 Live Feed Spoilers. We are a few days away now from the latest eviction show. The veto ceremony happened earlier this afternoon, and I'll be honest with you guys, after the veto ceremony happened and the way the past couple of days have gone,
Mhm.
I didn't exactly think that we were going to have all that active of an afternoon slash evening, but I am wrong. I am wrong. Thanks to Cameron, thanks to Cirie. Like there's actually some stuff happening here in the aftermath.
Yeah, which is really exciting. I mean, sometimes when you get to like the last month, and we are in the last month now, that, things can kind of slow down a little bit when there becomes less and less people. But that is not what is happening.
No, and it's hopefully going to make for a pretty fun next few days. And I know that there probably are some people out there who have been worried about Cirie. Cirie's lost a lot of people in the game. You can never count Cirie out when it comes to anything reality TV related, as long as she is still actively a part of a show.
It's 100% true, which is why it's unbelievable to me that, we're getting into the final stretch of the game and she is still in the
Yes.
game.
Okay. Well, I said that in like the most Texan way possible.
You are a Texan.
Well, if you guys do want to see more of our Big Brother 25 coverage, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more coming up. Also, our coverage of Survivor 45 is ongoing. This season has already recovered from a little bit of a train wreck premiere.
I
And
know, right?
yeah, we're excited for what's happening over there. And by hitting that subscribe button, you guys help to support us very, very much. And we really appreciate that.
And thank you to everyone who's joined our Patreon. We weren't here for Big Brother last season, but a lot of you guys had really asked for us to come back, and
Yep.
we did, and we were planning to come back, but it was nice to hear from you guys. And it's been really nice to see so many of you over at our Patreon as well, showing your support over there and joining us for our live streams where we talk about Big Brother every
Yeah.
single week. We have one tonight. So if you haven't joined yet and you want to join us tonight, we're going to be live taking all your questions. We'll have a link for you below.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, so Cirie and Felicia were the initial nominees, and Jag won the power of veto. And it was OTEV, it was Zingbot, it was everything that all of us, Big Brother people love. I mean, who doesn't love Zingbot? It's always fun.
And there's so many different things I love about Zingbot. Even the zings that aren't great, I love watching them. I love watching people freak out about them. I love watching people on Twitter who call all these house guests all sorts of names get suddenly really offended when Zingbot calls them a bunch of names. What is this? Like, only I can make fun of the house guests.
I also love watching people try to act like they're taking it cool of whatever's going to be said to them. But I mean, sometimes Zingbot can cut deep.
Yeah, Zingbot can really cut deep. Now, we're not going to get too much into the individual zings in this video,
No.
mostly because we've realized having jokes spoiled is not always as exciting, especially when, maybe we don't end up nailing the delivery on said jokes. So, Jag and Bowie Jane were supposedly in the final two of this competition, which did lead to some speculation from Cirie and Felicia that maybe Bowie Jane ended up throwing it, which, from what we know about Bowie Jane, does not exactly like power. She confirmed on the episode last night that she really didn't want to win HOH either, though I would presume a lot of people assume that based on what happened in the tiebreaker.
Yes.
So Bowie, over the course of that whole day, had contemplated a number of various veto scenarios, but was pushed pretty hard about putting up Cameron, who was, of course, thrown under the bus repeatedly by Jag, Matt, other people. Jag put in a lot of work to have her consider having Cameron up there. Cameron, ultimately, he also did have this overly controlling meeting with her where he did sort of his typical Cameron thing, that he is the white knight, that he's the hero, that he does all, this, that, and the other thing. And I think all of this stuff combined really has caused her to sort of be like, okay, you know what? Maybe Cameron can end up going, but it's an interesting question. Cameron is not coming after her. And so is going after Cameron then really the right move when she doesn't need to do it?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I mean, Cameron is a big comp threat, like I said, we are kind of in that last stretch, the last full month going on here where it's like if you don't have much time to get him out anymore.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting at the end with him, you could easily lose to him. He really has a pretty stacked resume at this point. I know not everybody on the jury has a great relationship with him, but at the same time, it's also really hard to look away from that resume when it comes to comp wins, veto wins, just like
Yeah.
he's winning his way to the end. That if you don't take that shot at him now, then you may not get this chance again. Like this could easily be it.
It's why I think it's a move that she had to make. It's something where, I could understand people being like, okay, Cam wasn't coming after her, but if Bowie Jane has any chance at all of winning this season, and I know that idea may seem laughable to some people out there, but I think there's a lot of game left to be played. And if
Mm.
Bowie wants to have a shot, this is something she can really claim. And it doesn't matter if, Jag pushed her to do this, other people, she still did it. And she can still
Hmm.
say on my HOH, I got rid of the person who literally came back as a zombie.
Yeah, and the person who like no one could beat in challenges, that she's the person that was able to take him out. Like that's a big get. That's something that truly she'd be able to take to the end and say in her speech. And if she's then sitting up beside maybe someone like Blue, she may actually be able to win that, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot that can still happen. Bowie Jane could tap into some really good speech giving skills at the end. She could really nail this point home about Cameron.
Yeah. Okay. So Cirie volunteered to stay on the block so Felicia could come off. Oh.
See, I am of so many different minds with this move. There's a part of it that's very nice. There's a part of it that's very sweet. Felicia has been on the block a lot this season.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is also very smart for Cirie
Mm-hmm.
because her and Felicia have had a lot of issues.
Yep.
This is a way to sort of extend an olive branch and be
Mm-hmm.
like, we can repair this. But I do also have to say this, that if this was not Cirie, like let's say this was Jag who did this, we would all be killing Jag on social media, and we would be saying that Jag is a terrible player. I'm not just saying this because, I've been rooting for Jag. If it was almost any normal Big Brother player, we would give them a lot of grief. But I do understand why Cirie is doing this, but we all do have to acknowledge that this is a season of flip-flops. Anything could still happen. This could blow up in her face big time.
Listen, if Cirie can stay on the block and not go home, I mean, that's something for her resume as well in this game. I mean, she came in a legend.
Yeah.
They had a chance to get rid of her. They didn't. Like that's a mistake.
Jag did decide in advance of the veto ceremony, you know what? I'm gonna honor this. I will take Felicia off the block, Cirie.
Mm-hmm.
You could stay up. There was a tiny tinfoil hat that I had to put on,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't even
Mm-hmm.
be like, it's like boop. Okay, there's a tiny tinfoil hat I put on that
Mm-hmm.
Cirie has said so much that she's just tired of being there, and that she's lost a lot of her friends. She's
Yeah.
used to playing Survivor, which even in most of the olden days was only 39 days as opposed to day 69 that we're in at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not asking to be evicted. I think she's just venting her frustrations about being locked in the house with these people for that long, which I think a lot of us can understand.
Okay, so as Matt said, Jag pulled off Felicia and Bowie Jane nominated Cameron, which, is a bit strange for her game. As Matt said, he's not coming after her, but at the same time, the person that takes out Cameron, that's a big move, a really big move.
Yeah.
And at this point, whoever leaves, if it is Cirie or it is Cameron, this is on Bowie Jane's resume. And I know that there's obviously other people in play that can be like, oh, well, I was the mastermind behind it. Okay, prove it. And that's
Yeah.
sort of how it's going to go, right? Like if that person is even at the end anymore. And if they're not, I mean, Bowie Jane can really pull that for herself. She's either going to get rid of a survivor legend or, you know, a comp beast this season.
Yeah, I think Bowie Jane having this HOH and this move happening on her week, I think it does make things a lot more interesting moving forward, especially when you kind of consider everything that's going on in the aftermath of all of this. It does feel like there's a lot of chaos that is going to come out to end this season, and that is
Yeah.
a good thing.
I just seeing all of this happen on Bowie Jane's HOH just makes me so frustrated that she's always just sort of like doesn't want to win, trying to throw things, doesn't want to be HOH, doesn't want to
Yep.
have any power because like I was expecting if that's the way that she's playing, where she's like, oh man, I don't want to make any big moves. I don't want to make anyone upset with me. This is not the nominations then that I thought was going to happen because one of these two people are going to stay. Either Cirie, who's an amazing social player, Cameron, who's a comp beast, is then going to come back and kick you out. Like it's a huge move for somebody who's like, oh, I don't want to win anything.
You better make sure Bowie Jane that Cameron ends up leaving this time around. Like Cirie is a big threat too, but Cirie's less likely to win competition. So either way, you might be in trouble, but maybe that's the way you could spare yourself a little bit. A little funny aside here, during the veto ceremony, both Cirie and Felicia jokingly called out Corey just like Bowie did. And this is just becoming the new meme. I know they don't always show veto ceremonies on the show, or at least like the speech parts of them. But
it's still so funny. It's like I wish I had two of these jokers.
It's one of those things where it keeps happening time and time. It's fine. Repeat jokes in the Big Brother house work when they don't have anything else to do other than play out the repeat jokes. Now, let's all have a party, a pity party, because that is what Cameron is currently doing. He has tried to guilt trip Matt, guilt trip Bowie Jane, guilt trip other people. He has told Bowie that, he helped keep her safe for weeks. And then she responded by saying she didn't need it because she was never in danger, which is possibly the greatest comeback that Bowie Jane has had all season.
It's truth.
He's in his feelings. He feels betrayed, embarrassed. He thought this fugitives alliance with Matt and Jag was a thing. And this is the real thing here, Cam. It's that deep down, and maybe you know this and you're not really projecting it, like you knew that the moment that you had an opportunity to be a replacement nominee, that this was just going to happen. You played a game in a way in which you won too much. You didn't have a lot of trust that was being built up here, and you have this fugitives thing that you had going on. After you won the pressure cooker, you got rid of Jag. Like, Jag was the person who was going to leave if it wasn't for that twist. So all of a sudden, you're going to count on Jag to not throw you under the bus?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense, but short-term memory here.
This is Big Brother, the land of short-term memory. And now Cameron has gone to Cirie after all of this, and this is all very much still developing. A lot of stuff from here on out has kind of been going on the feeds like these past couple of hours. But he has said that, Cirie, I want to help you and Blue go far. And all of this is so baffling to me on some levels because, you should be trying to hurt Cirie and trying to keep Cirie from moving forward. But you do you, Cam. You go ahead and tell her that Matt, Jag, Corey, American, Bowie are like this 5-person unit and that Matt and Jag are very much people who were in on getting Jared out of the game. Sure, go ahead. Throw all of them under the bus to Cirie.
It's very interesting anyways that he's wasting his time talking to Cirie because it's like if he stays, Cirie's not even there anymore. Like he's wasting his time on the wrong people of who he needs to really be putting the time into to be able to stay. Cirie can't vote for you. She's sitting beside you.
And this is the thing about Cirie. Like, yeah, she can't win comps in the same way that you can, Cameron, but she's very smart. And I think she's able to sit here and be like, why is this dude telling me this stuff? He's on the block opposite me, but maybe there's actually some truth in what Cameron is saying. I think that maybe it just sort of flickered a light bulb in her head that she was already having some of these suspicions. Now, she has gone and repeated some of this information to Felicia that Matt and Jag are trying to pin a lot of the game talk on Corey in America. I don't know if I would tell Felicia that much in the way of information right now, because the more people you tell, the more chances they are that they're going to go and tell somebody else.
She's trying to continue to repair what was broken with the two of them. I get it.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
risk. It's a risk, but I get it.
yeah. And I think Cirie at this point, just once again, judging from the fact that Cirie volunteered to stay on the block, which I don't care who I am, Survivor legend, nobody, guy who's just like failing like Brandon and all the last Survivor challenges. It doesn't matter. I'm never volunteering to stay on the block. But Cirie, she's very much in risk-taking mode. I'm guessing she's just like, you know what? I'm on the jury. If I get voted out for whatever reason, my reputation is already intact. I can get away from these people for a week in jury house.
For sure.
Cirie has, she's already talking to Felicia now about wanting Matt and Jag out before Corey and America because they are the bigger comp threats. And if everybody is playing them, you might as well get out the people who are more dangerous in that regard. And it sounds like Jag would be the target first, which is kind of interesting that it's sudden mastermind Jag, who, I was expressing my severe disappointment and sadness with for being a terrible Big Brother player earlier this season.
He's still a really likable guy, and that goes really far on the jury. It really does.
It does. And we all know Matt's affection for Cirie too, and that even though Matt hasn't been upfront with Cirie about everything, there's still something there. Maybe if you get rid of Jag, Matt then he has nowhere to go but over to Cirie, and then maybe that does help Cirie for a little while moving forward.
Yep.
Okay, so now the house guests are putting on the tinfoil hats.
Uh-oh.
And they're already speculating because the backyard is closing soon. Could this mean an elaborate HOH is coming? Or, and really setting this up for the Jess Invitational, the slip and slide HOH competition.
My favorite. I love watching people fall.
They really should just do this competition for you every year, just to give you the entertainment value of this.
It's so good.
It is really fun. I do also have to say this. If I am Cirie, if I am Felicia, I am praying to Allison Grodner, every producer behind the scenes, do not give me this competition. I'm also going to call this the Matt Klotz winning HOH Invitational.
Yeah.
I am not doing a slip and slide against a swimmer who is trying to compete potentially in the Olympics. I know it is not a swimming competition, but he could do like a backstroke across the slip and slide at a certain point.
I can't wait.
I really hope it is. I hope it's that
so.
for just like an entertainment standpoint. Like I would take really fun competitions over a lot of other things. We are mostly here for the nonsense.
I'm here for the falling.
Okay, so Cameron at this point, he needs 4 votes to stay, or 3 if Bowie Jane is willing to break a tie for him, which I don't know why she would do. I think Cirie does have to be careful about the info that Cameron told her and who she says it to and all that. Like, I've already expressed my concerns with Felicia, but it's also just hard to sit here and be like, okay, who are 3 or 4 people who would want to keep Cameron in the house? Like, sure, Corey knows that she is a huge Survivor legend and a threat, and America probably could be persuaded on some, but that's 2. That is not enough people in order to pull something like this off. There's no reason for Felicia at this point to want to keep Cameron in the game. Other people have betrayed him. I don't know where the numbers are, but I'm not going to sit here, honking my clown nose and act like this is a done deal. We have been down this road, guys.
All season we have been down this road. This is a house of flip-floppers this season.
We have all learned our lessons this year, or maybe not. Maybe on the next update, I'll say something really dumb and then it'll end up just pieing myself in the face. All right. Finally, I know this is what everybody really cares about. Corey and America have now become official. The news has spread it around the house. I kind of wondered briefly, like, is this something they're telling people to see who tells what or whatever else? I'm going to try to think that it's not really that deep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a risk to tell people that, to see if it spreads, whatever. I mean, they're a showmance. People already know that. You don't want to go to the end with a showmance. Like, you just don't. So at this point being like, it's official, it's like, What do you gain from this? Like, you have way more to lose than you do to gain. Unless people just like, oh, I feel so bad to break them up. No, this is Big Brother.
Yeah,
Nobody's keeping you two together.
I hope you two find a way to make it in the real world. Good for you guys. You know, we all want to believe in true love. I do not want to watch it on the feeds. I'm sorry. I know I had like that temporary insanity for a few hours earlier this season where I was like, I'm kind of rooting for them, but I had a rude awakening, and that has been completely just like dissolved from my system. It is gone. I'm done with that, and I apologize for ever thinking it.
I accept your apology.
Yes,
Welcome back to
thank
the
you.
no showmance side of
No,
things with
no,
me.
no, no. The moment that you see too much showmancing, it's just like, you know what? I can be happy for people in the real world, but there's nothing worse than just like watching two people just like constantly cuddle. It is just uncomfortable. I just can't.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, that is all we have for day 69 and Big Brother 25. But hit that subscribe button, and as just mentioned earlier, join our Patreon for weekly live streams. We have one all about Big Brother 25 coming up very, very soon.
Mhm.
And thank you guys who are supporting us on Patreon. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
We'll see you here next time.